So, welcome to the Music Directors Conference. What we do is that we focus on empowering music directors to become effective in the area of musical directing. And so that is what we do. We want to ensure that music directors are well equipped for the ministry God has called them or entrusted onto them. And one of the ways we do it is by bringing wonderful great men and women of God in the ministry who we can stand on their shoulders to grow. So we want to say that we do. And today we have a very wonderful guest, very wonderful, very great, a legend in the music ministry. This man has been an inspiration, and we thank God that finally we have gotten PD Wilson on this conference. So guys, help me welcome PD Wilson on the conference. This is PD Wilson, the music director for Selah 121 Selah. Come on, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Show him some love on the comment section. Show him some love on the comment section. Show him some love. Say welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Can you hear me very clearly? Hello, can you hear me very clearly?
Yes, we can hear you, but the volume is down. I don't know.
Okay. Is it very clear now? Can you hear me very clearly now? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Very clearly?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I'm so honored and privileged to be fellowshipping with you all this beautiful evening from Nigeria, from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. We are glad. This is a great privilege for us to have you. And we are so happy and we are so honored to have you for this. So just as I was saying that we're planning to have a music directors mentorship program. And then I was saying about who should we bring on board so that they can sign up to a mentor maybe for a month. So maybe on this part. And they said, we have to invite you over. So I said, okay, let's then invite you over. And so that later we can talk about it there. The mentorship section, because I know you are a great man and so skilled at what you do. Yes, sir. So before that, we just want you to tell us more about 121 Selah and then yourself, and then we dive into the conference.
Okay. I'm PD Wilson. I'm from the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria. I am a music director, a vocal arranger, director, producer, singer, songwriter, and team leader of gospel music group 121 Selah. Yeah, that's about it. Of course, 121 Selah. We were a group of young, passionate, and Christocentric friends who, by reason of our very common interest, have agreed to come together to preach and teach Christ to the world of Christless people, or many people even know Christ, but they know about the idea of Christ, but they don't know him in depth. They don't really know so much about him. So our message is to preach Christ and to bring men to the point where Christ is to them their greatest treasure, their utmost pleasure, and their motivation for living. That's really what our message is about. And we carry this out with our songwriting, our teaching, our conferences, everything we do with art and ministry is all to fulfill that vision. So that's a bit of 121 Selah.
Wow. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's great. So tonight we're looking at 7 skills a music director must have to be able to direct music effectively. So PD Wilson is going to outline to us these 7 skills, and you look to yourself which one you have to develop more, and which one you are lacking, which one you need to learn more in order to become a great music director. So, PD Wilson, I'll just hand over to you. Let's hear what you have for us this evening. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored once again. Thank you guys for having me.
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your line was breaking off.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I got logged out, so I was wondering. I've been trying to get back into the room since.
All right. All right. I think now we are good to go
All
now.
right. All right. I'm so sorry, guys. We need 5G. Somebody said it's a conspiracy theory, but I guess it is for the betterment of everybody. We need something faster, faster internet.
Yes.
All right. Let's just get right into it. Can you all still hear me? Can you all still hear me?
Yes, please. Now we can hear
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. Sorry, guys. Okay, so many times I hear people, I see people get a little bit shocked when they see my face or my picture or something. They expect to see somebody who's older or of age in that sense. Yeah, but I'm a pretty young guy. I just clocked 30 a couple of weeks ago. But the reason why I say that is to say that many times you do not know how much you can do or how much you can achieve.
Yes.
Until you put your heart to something, regardless of how old or young you are. Are you getting what I'm saying? We have accomplished music directors who literally have made big waves even at age 16, 15, 18. So you don't have to be all the way old before you can do amazing stuff musically.
Yes.
I'm reminded of somebody called Jacob Collier. I don't know, you should check him out.
Yeah.
He's an amazing singer, vocal arranger, producer, Grammy Award winning. He's pretty young. I think he just clocked 26 recently.
Wow.
Oh yes. So and then many people like that. Kirk Franklin started directing music at a very, very young age. So I believe strongly that if there is any time to really get your life together and do a lot of stuff, it'll be now that your energy is still like at the height where you don't have so many distractions and many things to take your time. All right. I'm married and I know most of the things I know now. I thank God that I was able to do them before I got married, because it is another life entirely.
Yeah, I
Married.
understand.
And I mean, even the Bible said, talked about it in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, that it is good that while you are single and don't have so many things to do or too many responsibilities on you, try to, focus on the work of ministry, the work of God. And let me add the work of self development. So I really want to encourage you guys that you take your life by the horn this period of your life. And if there be anybody who is gone ahead, who is elder, who is married, trust me, don't despair. You still can try to apply many of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you this evening. All right. So let me just get right into it. We're supposed to learn about seven skills that you need as a musical director or director of music. But unfortunately, I'm required to share 7 skills that you need as a director of music. But unfortunately, I have 3 skills. And those 3 skills embed many other skills, such that when I'm done, you realize there are probably over 12 or 14 or 15 skills you need as a musical director. So, but I just have to break them into categories. All right. So don't be scared. It's not just 3, it's a lot more than 3 skills. But I'm saying that when you categorize them, you have 3 major things that as a music director you must have. All right. But before we even get right into it, who is a musical director? Who is a director of music? I know many of us think it's just that guy you see in church who waves his hand back and forth. All right, the choir master. Well, it's bigger than that. A musical director is bigger than just the choir master waving his wand and telling you guys to do one thing or the other. All right. I want to also try to broaden your scope so you can see that because many of us are only used to church music. All right, but the world does music. There is music that music was created by God for the world, and in the world you find the church. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand that um, a music director or a director of music is somebody who is relevant in creating music at any level or any platform that requires music done, not necessarily in church. So basically, a music director is the person responsible for the musical aspects of a performance, production, or an
Yeah.
organization. All right, and for any performance or production, there are many aspects. All right, to it. There are many um, um, departments, many how will I put it now? Yeah, departments, that different sectors in every organization. For instance, if I'm running a production, maybe a theater production, for instance, definitely there has to be a creative director, somebody who is in charge of the dance, the theatrics, the arts, the costume, the lights, the sound, all the props that we need to make that theater experience very memorable. All right, you have the production manager, you have many people. The music director is the one who is responsible for the music. And so if I'm supposed to share 7 skills, I think because you now can see that a music director is responsible for the musical aspect of a performance. Everything that music as a branch or as a scope of uh, 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 um, of career, everything it embeds almost required. All right, is required by for the musical director to have in order to be able to fully mitigate and lead a people in that area. So what I'm trying to say is that if you look at music at its width, at its height, you definitely can see that the responsibility of somebody who's going to direct that is so much. What you need
Yeah.
to know, what you must have is so much. As far as listen, in fact, when you look at it very carefully, let me because I permit me to always use many Christian analogies to make you understand my point better. So I'm going to be going from Christian faith to life so you can better relate with what I am saying. The standards of Christian faith is God. All right. So
Yeah.
the more you know God, the more is expected from you. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The more you
Yes.
know of his holiness, the greater the standards for you. Are you
Yes.
getting what I'm
Yes.
saying? I rather you don't know anything about him so that the standards is lower. So the more your minds open up to the reality of who he is, the more you realize that you are laden with to deliver on. So the more you open up the scope and the sphere of music and realize how far we are going to call music excellent at any given point, definitely you know that whoever is going to be called the musical director in that moment must be able to tell us or live up to that expectation. Okay, so another definition I'll give to you is this. First of all, let me ask before I go on, how many minutes do I have so that I can embed all this together in that short time?
Um,
How many minutes do I have?
you have like 40 minutes, sir.
All right, cool. So I'm looking at my watch now. All right, 40 minutes. Good. So we should be done at 6:20 ish, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. So another definition is a music ensures that musicians and singers play with one coherent sound. All right. It ensures that musicians and singers play with one coherent sound, balancing the melody, the harmony, the timing, the rhythm, the volume, and every other aspect of any musical production. I'll say that
Yeah.
again. Musical directors or directors of music ensure that musicians and singers play with one coherent sound, balancing the melody, harmony, timing, rhythm, volume, dynamics, and every aspect of any musical production. All right. And let me say this before I go on. Many times people think it's only when we go into a studio that we're doing music production. Anytime you touch music, all right, you're already in your mind are working on a production. Anything
Yeah.
at all that makes you interface with music is production. You don't have to be in a studio booth or anything to do product. You already, if you come for choir rehearsal, what you are doing that moment is production. You are trying to put pieces of music together. All right, you're
Wow.
producing music. That's what you're
Okay.
doing. Because at the end of the day, the outcome on a Sunday service or at a concert, whether you record it or not, is the
Mhm.
output of whatever input you gave into the music. Are you get what I'm saying? So production
Yes,
is
sir.
what we're doing now. And so a musical director is somebody who ensures that from start to finish, all right, he puts everything together to ensure a reasonable and excellent outcome for the music. Do you understand what I'm saying? He ensures that there is a very good outcome. He makes sure he works from the beginning, from the
Mhm.
top, bringing everybody together to ensure the outcome. And so, before we go into the depth, because I know many people are looking for, oh, what skill, and you're already getting technically expectant to know. I mean, it would be shocking that the first skills that you need as a musical director has more to do with relationship than technicality, has more to do
Wow.
with being able. All right, I said that it will shock you, it would amaze you that the skills you need as a musical director has more to do with relational skills than technical skills. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because you are trying to bring a lot of parts together to function seamlessly against and for each other. I'm actually for each other, with each other, to reach a particular outcome, a decided outcome. Are you getting what I'm saying? And so your skill in being able to manage all these resources is even way more important than how much music you know. Right?
Wow.
It doesn't matter how well rounded you are as a pastor, you can teach or preach. If you do not know how to bring people together and take them from point A to point B, you are not going to achieve your results. The last thing we do as musical directors is music. I don't know if you got that. The last thing we do as MDs is music. That's the last thing we do.
Wow. Guys,
All right.
put that in the comment section. Put that in the comment section. The last thing we do as music directors is
It's music. All right. And so
music.
with that,
You just
let me
put
go
that in
into
the
it.
comment section.
Yes, please. So there are three major things a musical director must have. Number one, vision. Number two, leadership. Number three, musicianship. All right, those are the three things that a musical director must have. And I'm going to be breaking this down within this short time. There is a lot. I'm not sure I can cover everything in 40 minutes. We go to school to study this for 4 years or 5 years. I'm supposed to embed all this in 40 minutes. I'll do my best, but it will take a miracle. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vision, leadership, and musicianship. Those are the three most important skills every MD, or musical director, must have. What is vision? Like we all know, vision is the ability to see. All right. A musical director must be able to see. And this is what I mean. To produce music, to put music together is like building a house. You do not build a house you have not yet envisioned. There must be a clear clear-cut architecture in your mind. You must know what you want to achieve at the end of the day before you even begin. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. As Christians, as human beings, we are image bearers of God. And God is that guy who, before he does a thing at all, he finishes it first. All right. He judges the end from the beginning. All right, or the beginning from the end, whichever one you like to see through. All right, so he finishes a thing before he starts. There's a mental picture you must have of what you want to achieve. When anybody's coming into power, President Ado, for instance, he would always share with us his plan, his 4-year plan, and he says, by the end of my tenure, this would have happened, but no execution has taken place yet. So vision, as a musical director, you must have vision. And vision in what context? Musical vision, because you are a sound architect, you are a sound crafter, you are a sound builder. You must be able to have musical vision. And so in music, we have a lot of possibilities. There are many destinations you can arrive in music, and that is what informs what we call genre. Styles of music are arrived at destinations. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Before you say this is rock music, rock music is the outcome of certain decisions you have made. Before you say this is R&B, R&B is the outcome of certain decisions you have made. Before you say this is gospel, gospel is the outcome. So if that's the outcome, if that's the output, where does it begin? So you have a vision, you picture something, you say, oh, this is where, I want to, at the end of the day, create this kind of mood for my music. All right. And that already informs your vision. And so when you see that, if you can't see that, trust me, it's already a project that's dead on arrival. Are you getting what I'm saying? So picture what you want to achieve. Okay, so for this music, for this service in church, pastor wants to teach on love. What emotion do I want to create? What kind of atmosphere do I want to create during the service? Do I want it to be very melancholy? Do I want it to be very happy, joyful? Do I want it mushy and sober? How do I really want it to turn out at the end of the day? What feeling do I want to communicate? Because music is very emotional. Are you getting what I'm saying? Where do you want people to be at the end of the day? You must be able to see it. And after you've seen it, then you begin to ask yourself, what materials, resources do I need to put together that will bring me and a couple of other music professionals to get people to this particular destination at the end of service or at the end of any concert I put together. So that is the most important thing. Vision. Know where you are going. Secondly, yes, I don't want to dwell too much on that because of time. All right. Secondly, you must have leadership. Now, that is because even though Moses in the Bible already knew what God had told him about the children of Israel, he needed to lead them. He wouldn't just go there and say, all right, guys, let's go. All right. In fact, there was a time that out of unguided zeal, he went and he wanted to lead them by force. And in fact, they looked at him and said, dude, we're not going anywhere. Do your worst. We're not going anywhere. So I'm saying, as much as vision is important, leadership is more important, because now you have to communicate vision and persuade people that, okay, let's go from here there. So leadership involves these things. Number one, interpersonal skills. I'm sorry about those who are expecting so much of musical detail. We're going to get to that shortly, but this is more important. I know most of you probably even know so much music already, and the reason you're not getting the results that you should get. You're saying something. I'm listening.
You know, sir. Yes, I know, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I heard of this. Just one of the big US choirs. I don't know whether it was Hilson or Elevation. They were looking to hire a music director.
Okay.
And then guess what they were looking for?
What?
The first thing they were looking for, the first requirement was leadership. leadership they were
That's
looking
what it
for.
is.
And I was like, what are you talking about? I thought you mentioned about someone who can play the keyboard and someone who can score harmonies and someone who can do crazy harmonies and stuff. And I mean, what they were looking for was ability to lead people, because they believe that you are going to lead people. You
That's
are not
right.
going to lead music.
Exactly.
Yes,
Lead people.
because they believe that you're like, and so you have to work on your leadership ability.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's so important.
It's so
And then
important.
let's
So
dwell there. Let's dwell.
yeah,
Yes.
it's so important. So let me just give you. So it doesn't just look like, because when people when people say leadership, sometimes it looks like an abstract. What really is leadership? Leadership, I mean, involves these things. Number one, interpersonal skills. All right, you're going to be dealing with people, and trust me, the most difficult thing to do in life is work with human beings.
Yes.
These
Yes.
guys, I don't know them. Have you met human beings before? But I heard that they are tough to deal with. I watch a lot of movies, and trust me, I hear many of this, gang leaders, this mafia heads say things like, or this scientific gurus and innovators in movies like Avengers. They say things like, "Oh man, humans are so tough to deal with. That's why I prefer to use robots who can be told what to do, and you don't have to worry about their emotions and their off days and their on days and all of that." So, and that's what they say in movies.
Yeah.
But really, as human beings, we are all imperfect, and we're gonna have to deal with all of our imperfections, even as musical directors. All right. So
Yeah.
we as leaders would have to learn how to deal with people, and people as followers will have to learn how to deal with leaders. And the Bible actually says that too, that leaders do not provoke your servants. Servants also, even if your leader seems to be a very cruel person, try to work with the person. So he said that interpersonal skill is so important. All right, you have to be a good
Yeah.
listener as a musical director. You have to be a good speaker as a musical director, because this is about communication. If you're not able to communicate your vision well to us, then there's a very huge chance that you're not going to be able to convince us that that is what should be done, and we might not even get the picture well to be able to fully commit to what you see. If we don't see what you see, we can achieve what you want to achieve. And so, as a leader, you must be able to develop good communication skill. I want you to do this. Don't just say, I want to make people feel this way. I want to make people feel, so we can't see your feelings. There has to be a musical way to communicate that. There has to be
Yeah.
a narrative way that to get every one of us into the same, to be on the same page with you
Yeah.
many times. And trust me, this happens a lot of times.
Yeah.
People will be less forced to do what they need to do when they understand where you really want to take them. So
Wow.
develop your listening skills and your speaking skills, your coordination skills, how to relate with people. Dependency. Your bass player might be a choleric. Your drummer might be a sanguine guy, always playing. All right. How to deal with all the dispositions and character and temperaments of people is one thing you also need to understand. It's important. Also, you need to identify yourself. Who are you? What kind of temperament do you have? And how best can that rub off other people who have different soul dispositions in that moment?
Yeah.
Are you getting what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, for
Yeah.
lack of more time, I'll just leave that there. Another most important skill you must have under leadership is objectivity. As a leader, you have to be objective. You must have good judgment and decision making. You must know how to decide what you need for the job you need to accomplish. Many times leaders have a lot of sentiments going on. Listen, the most in the most the most deterring factor to seeing your vision come to pass is sentiment. As
Wow.
musicians, you must know that it is what it is. If this is what can do the job, that is what you should find your way, a way to make sure is used to get the job done. Are you getting what I'm saying? All right. You
Yes.
must have good judgment. You must know who is right for each job. You can have four drummers in church. Understand everybody, know what their strengths are. Music is so vast. To find one person who can do 10 genres professionally is hard. It's hard. All right. And so if you have four drummers or four pianists in your church, one pianist might have a certain kind of pianism that is more contemporary and CCM. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another could have a type of pianism that is more gospel and Kevin Bond-ish. Another could have a kind of pianism that is more classical. And all of these things are different scopes of music and expression. So as a musical director, you must be objective. Don't say because somebody has been longest in the choir, then he should take a gospel role at a concert, when you know that this guy who just joined yesterday is more versed in gospel. Like I said, the first thing is vision. If the vision at the end of the day is to end up at a gospel sound, something like a Fred Hammond or a Dana McClurkin, and this guy is 3 months in the choir and he has a very strong gospel hand, and this guy who's been 20 years in the choir is more classical, that doesn't make the classical guy less efficient or less professional than the one who is a gospel guy. It's just genre, it's just style. So know how to use the right people to achieve your vision. All right. And know also, now the flip side is you have to also deal with the emotional place of many of those people. And that's why I said you must be able to communicate that, sir, I know you've been in the choir for so long, but this is the truth, sir. With all due respect, I need to achieve gospel. Teach them what it means. Let everybody be proud that, listen, if I'm not being used now, that doesn't mean I'm not good. I am good, but in a style. And when when it's time for my style to be required, I'll be called upon. It's all communication. All right, it's so important. So because some people literally leave choirs because they are not being used for months. For instance, if you're a classical pianist, there is a very huge likelihood that you only get to play the hymns, and hymns are probably only one side. In fact, hymns may even be the most boring part of service. You're not part of the action, the vibe, the jumps, and you get what I'm saying. So you have to be very, very careful in order not to make someone feel less used in that sense. Good. And if you have to create, if you find out that this person is not really finding expression in the service, if you deliberately, just so that everybody can have an inclusive feeling, if you have to create music occasionally to accommodate some people, then why not do, so that you can actually carry everybody along. All right. So that's basically what I mean by objectivity. Know what you want to get the job done and go for it, and be able to explain to every other person. And trust me, we are human beings. Not everybody, but sometimes I agree with you, but you have to take your stand. All right. Point 3, persuasion. As a musical director, you must be able to persuade. Like I just said, tell that classical pianist, I'm sorry, sir. This is what I want to achieve now. Persuade. Use influence. Be able to instruct. Be able to motivate. Some people will not feel like going. Some people really, because as a musical director, you need to give people something bigger than what they can do. You need to challenge people. So as a leader, you have to be able to use persuasive words. Don't just beat people down and say, you can't even do stuff. Get out of my face. All right. Be able to use persuasive words that would enhance people's emotion, make them believe in themselves. Are you getting what I'm saying? And listen, there's a limit to how much you can say. You can't really beat an elephant to become a horse. You can't do that. If he can't, he can't. Be objective. But some people, you see that, they're just 2 steps away from being able to do so much. All right. So you must be able to know that, to identify talent and, persuasively lead them to get better as a musical director. All right. Also, if you have a vision, sometimes as a musical director, when I go to my one-to-one seller people and I tell them this is the idea I have, sometimes they go, whoa, PD, this is beyond. What are you thinking about? How can this be? Just like just like Mary told the angel, how can you say I'm going to be with child without meeting my husband or something? You get what I'm saying? How can these things be? So you must be able to sell idea. You must have idea selling skills. You must be able to tell people, okay, now listen, I know this is a big vision, but let me break it down to you. We do this, we do this, we do that, we do that. And by the time they are done with the vision, they won't even know that they've done something so groundbreaking. So you must have idea selling skills as a musical director. Number four, you must have patience, perseverance, and tolerance, forbearance, because you're dealing with human beings, and that's just what you only. You must be patient. All right. Some people will. Yes, I'm not tolerating indiscipline. Some people will come late to your rehearsal. Some people will literally give you attitude. Calm down. Be patient. Deal with people. Know that everybody has some form of imperfection, including yourself, because you don't know how much patience they also need to deal with your own excesses sometimes. So let's all
Yeah.
have the same spirit of love and unity. Be able to keep a team. One-to-one seller is 9 years. On the
Wow.
7th, yes. What's today? Today 16th, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow, not one-to-one seller will be 9 years old. And trust me,
Woo!
what has kept the team
Ah.
together has not been so much of music, but all of these things: patience, tolerance, having to keep a team together,
Wow.
having to forbear one another, having to forgive. Some people will mess up a recording. Like sometimes somebody who you even believe so much in will just have a bad day on the day of performance and will blow it up. Forgive and give the person another chance. It's part of the job.
Sir, like this point, as a music, we have to be very patient, because sometimes you are teaching, you are teaching the harmonies to your choir.
Right.
I'm seeing this note, and just patient. You give up and you lose your vision, because
that's right.
Working with people, and with different temperament, they are not getting it yet. You have to still persuade them. I like this.
Exactly. You have to persuade. You have to just try, keep it there. Just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. All right. And so, of course, when we get to the other extreme of teaching choir members of how to be more resourceful in the choir and give the MD less stress, we'll talk about all of that. But all things being equal, let's say you have very, very, like say out of 10 people, you only have 3 very sound, well-trained ears in your choir.
Yeah.
You have to be patient with the others, with the other 7. You have to try to make sure that they get it right. All right. And so that is the side. Then another thing is point 5. As part of leadership skills, of course, discipline. All right. Discipline, time management. As a musical director, you must be able to, first of all, be a time conscious person, show up early to every gig, show up early to every rehearsal. That's leadership. You lead by example. Before you demand punctuality, you be punctual. All right. Before you demand discipline, you be disciplined. Be a man of your word. Be a man of value, of standards. All right. Be a man of your word. When you say something, abide by it. All right. And so ensure that that same also is so like I said, I'm not even saying this from a point of view of what you should expect from people. I'm saying what you should also develop as a human being. You must be disciplined. All right. Many times, and this is the truth, because we know so much of music, when you have a vision to achieve R&B at the end of everything you've done, and you know that R&B, this is what you need to put together. By the time we get to musicianship, you see what I'm saying. If you're going to pull all of that together, sometimes because of your other expressions, you might be forced to want to do some extras. Be disciplined. Know how to stay in the pocket of the music you are trying to achieve. Stay there.
Woo!
Stay there.
Yeah.
Stay there. Stay in that pocket. All right. Some genres, for example, I don't expect that as a musical director, you would allow your members or your pianist to play phonic chords when what we're trying to achieve here is CCM, something that sounds like Hillsong. Hillsong's music requires the most transparent piano possible. Transparent. Just one chord move from here, wait until the entire bar is exhausted, the chord, no fills, no passing notes, nothing. Stay there. So you must be disciplined to be able to hold everybody together. And those, yeah, I like that chord. Yes, I know you like the chord. It is sweet, but it is not right in that moment.
Yes.
So you have to be able to stay in that pocket of discipline. All right. And so lastly, before I move on to the next one, service. As a leader, as a musical director, you must serve your people. You must know that you are there to lead them from to take them from one part to another. So be there. Many times People will get your music. People don't know. People don't care how much you know until they see how much you care. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until they know that you're not just here to achieve your results, but you are also invested in their lives. They might not really take you seriously. And that's just not about music alone. It cuts across every service. People want to know how much you really care about their growth. So be involved with people,
Yeah.
be invested in people, in the people that are around you. It is more important than how much you know. Trust me. Any single time you have people who know that this guy cares about us, trust me, they give themselves more to you than you can imagine. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
They just feel the need to reciprocate goodness. All right. You have power. In fact, you have influence over them when they know that you are of service to them. You're not lords over them. You're not dictatorial. You don't just say, go there, come back here. Of course, you have to exercise authority here every now and then. But trust me, they need to know that you are involved in them personal affairs. It doesn't have to be music. It could be any other thing. It could be their faith. It could be their relationships. All right. As far as you can, as much as you can do, be involved. And with that, we cover the second aspect of what a musical director should have: vision and leadership. All right. Now let's move to the third one, which I know everybody has been expecting: musicianship. All right. What does musicianship mean? It's basically to know how to pull the pieces together. If you have a vision, what are the bricks you need? What are the people you need? What are the what's it called? All the materials you need to be able to build that house. That is what musicianship is about. And so, to be able to decide, these skills are inevitably required. Like, you need the skills like you need your own life, just like every other thing I've mentioned. Number one, you must have music experience. And I'm going to give you the context. Music experience is not about 20 years of doing music. No, that's not what I mean. Let me just list it and I begin to explain. Number one, you must have music experience. Number two, you must have very sound knowledge of music theory. Number three, you must have very sharp, acute ear training. Acute, I said, acute. Like, not the kind that, see, Kimberell says something, I know you guys know Kimberell. She says, practice not until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. That is a different level to perfection. Did you hear what I said? Practice not until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. That is until that point where it becomes second nature. It becomes like muscle memory. You don't have to think twice before you know. That's the kind of ear training I'm talking about. So music experience, music theory, ear training, creativity, and at least the ability to be able to play or at least know how that instrument works. And let me break it down. First of all, musical experience. I might not necessarily know musical theory. Are you following me, guys? I might not necessarily know music theory, but I should be able to tell what I'm listening to. This is what I mean. You might not necessarily be able to say this is a major seventh, or be able to put a note, but a note or a name to it. But if all you have is to be able is being able to differentiate one sound from another, and you can tell the way different colors make different types of music feel, then you have music experience. Because listen, everything you learn in theory must become an experience. I have many people who know theory by the books. They know every name, every term, but they can't hear music and tell me that that is that theory, or that is that name, or that is that application there. They can't hear music and tell me that. But I know many people who can't tell me what the theoretical nomenclature is, but they can tell me what they can hear. In fact, they can sing, they can harmonize, they can do all of these things. They can tell, like, no, that's not what it is. It's like this. See that thing? Being able to just feel music and be able to tell what's going on in every song you listen to is what I call music experience. It doesn't have to do with years of doing this. Are you guys what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
for instance, I'm making music now, and I want to play something that is, or somebody's playing a progression, and I'm supposed to sing. If at the end of that song, I realize that I'm able to deliver on every chordal expectation. What I mean by chordal expectation is a chord is played, and I'm supposed to sing a melody or a lick or a riff or a scale or a mode or a run, a melisma, or a riff or whatever it is. I'm supposed to sing that to that melody. If I can successfully do that, and when I'm interviewed, I really cannot tell what is the name of the chord that is played or what is the combination of the notes in the chord that was played, even though I sang every single note in that chord, then I have music experience. So if you can have that as a musical director, yes, you're on track. So the question is, how do you do this? It's simple. When you listen to music, you must ask 4 questions. Can you hear me? The first question is, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
The second question is, yes, what am I listening to? What did I hear? Now, yeah, what did I hear? Number 2, why was it done? What did I hear? Why was it done? Why? Many times you don't know that somebody actually decided what you call, yeah, that movement or that lick. Somebody one time decided that. It probably wasn't done. If you study music history, there was always a first time. There's a first time for everything you're doing now. You get what I'm saying? There was the Renaissance era, there was the jazz era, there's been evolutions over and over again. And so the day that somebody, let's say Claude Debussy, did a particular thing, everybody was like, okay, so why did he do that? This is weird. No one has ever done this before. People innovate. And so you must ask yourself, okay, so why was, when you're saying God will make a way, why did he play that thing? Why? You might not necessarily know theory. I'm not talking about theory now, but just ask yourself, why did they do this? By asking these questions, you are already demanding answers, and the answers you get will build your musical experience. Listen, for you to be able to create, I'm going to say more of this in creativity. For you to be able to create music, you must be able to answer not only the whats of music, but the whys of music. If you only know what is done and you apply it, you are not yet a creator. The only time you transit into creation status is when you can tell why it was done. The moment you have a hang of the purpose of every musical decision that was made in a song, then you are empowered to take that and create yours. I don't know if you get what I just said. That's actually what leads you there. So ask why. Why was it done? Why was that chord played? Why was that harmony used? For instance, see what the Lord has done. Nathaniel Bassey, you know Nathaniel Bassey, right? He released this album recently, beautiful album. See what the Lord has done. In the harmonies, this is very funny. See what the Lord has done. Basic 1. They play the basic 1 chord. This is harmony now. 1 chord. 1, 3, 5. Then see what the Lord has done. They went to a 5. A 5 has your, if you're playing on C, for instance, I don't know what key that song was sung on. All right, that's a G, that's a B, that's a D. All right. But in the harmonies that the choir sang,
sharp.
The choir actually is what, G sharp?
Yes, I think A flat.
Okay, if it's A flat, then all right. So see what the Lord has done. A, all right, A sharp. So then see what the Lord has done. That happens to be what? An E flat there. All right. So we have your E flat, then your G, then your B flat. And that's supposed to be like your major fifth, like your so ti re. If you're going to use sulfur to explain what I just said in key. Good. But the challenge is when the harmonies came in the choir, there was a see what the Lord has done. Can you? Then a part sang, see what the Lord has done. That's me, re, do. That's me, re, do. And me is actually not in that major chord. Me is a 6th. All right. Is a 6th from the 5. So you have sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. All right. So the question is, it upset some of us, like, oh, but that's a 5 chord being played. Bass player Felix Jackson played the 5, but the choir is singing a 3 in that sense, a 3 being sung. Why was that done? Why? So you ask yourself, oh yeah, fine. If it's a 3, then you might not necessarily know. This is what I'm saying. I have many people who have said, okay, sing this, da 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 da. All right, sing it, sing that particular thing. All right, and it makes sense, not because they can theoretically explain it, but because harmonically they can feel it. You can feel it. I once had a cello player that I called because I needed a cello for a production I did many years back. He's very sound in theory, very sound in theory. He could read, sight read everything. I gave him the script. What did he say?
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me? Yeah, what did you say?
Yes, yeah. You see, like, just to see what the Lord has done. Last Saturday,
Yes.
I went for rehearsal. I went to some rehearsal, and they were doing the song. And just as you explained, the music director scored a song after, I think, like when he blew the trumpet and finished, like the harmonies they do. Yeah, I think that they were singing on the 3, but he scored a song on the 5. And so I was like, I was like, this is not what I'm hearing in the song, but he was like, that's what he hears. So I didn't really talk much, but I just left it there.
Yeah, it actually confuses many people, but there's a very strong relationship between the 5, the 7, the 2, and the 3. Very, very strong relationship. Because if you flip it over, it becomes the minor of that 3rd. It becomes the minor. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Because if you're playing, this is supposed to be a harmony conversation, but I can't go deep. Like I said, I barely have 10 minutes. You get what I'm saying? Because if you play, for example, you have your 1. So you're on C. C is your C, E, G, right? When you have that, and when you now play when you go to the E, you can either have maybe a minor chord from the E, or a major chord, or a diminished chord, or an augmented chord. If you're going to play a major, it's going to be an E, then G sharp, then you're going to have your B, all right? And if it's going to be minor, it's going to be E, then your G, then B. I mean, that's what you have for that part. But what I'm trying to say is that for software, maybe let me use software to make it easier. So when you have your mi sa ti and you have your sa ti re, do you get what I'm saying? The sa ti re is literally like is the 5 of the 1. All right, but you can see that the sa and the ti also have this relationship with the 3, in that it gives you the minor 3rd in that sense. All right, so I'm just trying to say that or not, my challenge now, it is that you can even hear that is what was done, and you can find a way to interpret tonally. You can say sing sing you get what I'm saying, with tones. You can communicate that. You're on track. You get what I'm saying? But added to that, trust me, if you now then know musical theory and can put terms and words to the sounds that you already can hear, then you have an edge. Because sometimes communication is difficult when you have to say, no, not that one. No, not that one. Because it's hard. You get what I'm saying? You can try, but if you then can now, because what's musical theory? Definitely knowing the notations, knowing the terms, all right, that what you hear in sound are called. So have some musical theory, learn about chords, learn about pitches, about notes and everything, learn chords, learn key signatures, learn all of that. All right, read. If you don't necessarily have to go to a school. Many times we don't know that we have so many resources at our disposal. Go, I don't know if you've heard of Coursera before. There's Coursera. There is, what's this other one? Coursera is a platform where you find many, courses, music courses, many courses, life courses. Coursera, Coursera, Coursera. Coursera. Check Coursera. There's another one I'm trying to remember now. where they teach you a lot of courses from music directing to music theory to harmony to film score to production to sound engineering. Go there, and I mean, for many of those courses, you can actually get them free. I guess you only get to pay when you want to do a course, get a certificate. I mean, all right. So learn musical theory, learn how the sounds you hear, how they translate to words. You get what I'm saying? Learn about augmented chords, learn about diminished chords, learn about C and D and all these signatures. Learn how to do sequence modulations. Learn all of those things. Learn about thirds and fifths and minor thirds and minor fifths and cadences. Learn about harmony. Learn about what's it called? Um, Intervals. Learn all of these things. It's in theory, so you can be able to communicate better. Thirdly, because of time, ear training. Now, this is this ear training is the connection between your musical experience and music theory. That's the connection.
Okay.
There's a sound you hear, and there's a theory you know. How do you know that that theory that you know is this sound you're hearing? That is where ear training comes in to bridge the gap. I could know by theory that there's something called a diminished chord. The one chord, the three, the flattened third, and the flattened fifth. All right, called the diminished chord. I can know that theoretically, but when I hear the music, I don't know what it sounds like. So build your ear to be able to identify chords. Build it. When you hear diminished chords, you must know how it feels. Some of us actually, I personally, I started learning chords by emotions. I didn't get to know chords by music theory. I know this is, if it makes me feel this way, it must be a diminished chord. If it makes me feel that way, it's an augmented chord. If it makes me feel that way, oh, it's a grand major chord. It's a perfect resolution. Are you getting what I'm saying? If it's not like that, maybe it's a plagial resolution. That's how I started. I'm using the words now because I learned theory, but it didn't start off with theory. It started with just feeling. I just know that that's the chord. And so as a singer also, I get to express based on that knowledge. But because of teaching, because of directing, I would need to have a term. Are you getting what I'm saying? I can't just say, oh yeah, that one, that sound. Use the term. Use the term. Say that's a diminished movement. Tell your choir members that the reason why we use diminished movements to create a form of tension, to create this very spooky atmosphere, suspense. That's why we use diminished chords. Are you guys what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why I really got to learn theory. So ear training, learn about pitch. Learn about pitch. I mean, be able to identify pitches. Oh, that's a C. That's a D. Not necessarily absolutely, because many people say, yeah, it's a good skill to be able to just, have perfect pitch and say, oh, C, oh, F sharp, oh, G, all of that. It's good. It's one of the most coveted skills to have as a musician, but is unnecessary, actually. The most important skill we must have when it comes to pitch is not absolute pitch, it's relative pitch. Be able to know the intervals between one pitch and another pitch. That's what you need. All right. So, because for example, when you want to do modulation, for instance, you're going to tone. You must know the distance between this tonal center and that tonal center by your ear, so you can actually communicate better. So be sound in pitch, be sound in intervals. I'm saying a lot of things at the same time. This is over 10 skills now. Pitch, intervals, be sound in chords. Music directors, songs are built over progressions, and progressions are built over chords. The more the chords you know, the more the progressions you can create. All right. Songs are built over progressions. When you hear a basic rock song, you probably hear a 1, 5, 6, 4. All right. So I'm saying one chord. I'm saying one note now, but it's actually, I don't have that. I don't have that. What's it called? I don't have polyphony in my voice, so I can't give you chords like Layla Hathaway. All right, in that sense. So, but when you hear a one, there's a chord there. All right, no chords, no chords, know it like your life depends on it. No different chords, and because this is what shapes the music. This is what shapes what you're doing. All right, when you hear a song like Donald Lawrence song, for example, say, I know that life has challenged you, the king and me. Speak to the king. What's that? That's a fourth minor. Know that construct. Know the difference between a major movement and a minor movement. Know it. Learn chords. All right.
Okay.
Get yes. Play the piano. If you can't play the piano, at least download apps that can teach you these things. At least for Apple users, there's an app called Tone, Tone, and for Android users, I think there's Perfect Ear. Download it, learn chords. They play the chords for you. They test you. What chord do you hear? If you give the wrong answer, they'll cancel it. If you're right, they'll give it to you. But many times we guess, but try to get it right. So pitch, intervals, chords, rhythm. Many music directors don't even know basic rhythm. 4/4, 3/4, 6/8. What's the difference? Be able to know these things. Know the difference between a 12/8, a 7/8, groove genre. For example, now African music is very complex in signature. It's not as common time as American or white music. All right, it's complex. It's not just pop, 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 pop. It's no rhythm. All right, we're very rhythmic people in Africa. No rhythm. All right, have a very good grasp of melody, of scales, of modes, and many things that involve ear training. In fact, just go on Google, type ear training, and learn everything you can so that you can better communicate your vision to people. Then, having these three things, you must at least be able to play an instrument, or even if you don't play, be able to know how the instrument works. Why? Because you need to communicate with musicians what to play, and you must exercise leadership. Your pianist must know that yes, you can't play as much as he can, but you can tell him what not to do because you have a good grasp of the genre and what kind of pianism is required for that genre. All right, so that's what I mean by you must at least know how to play or know how the instrument works. All right, you're a producer as a music director. So if a producer can put music together, you also must be able to know all it takes to put music together in different genres, at least 5, 6 genres. Don't blame yourself if you can't do more than two. It's fine, but just know that you must be able to do at least 1 or 2 or 3 genres very, very well. And that means that you know how every instrument in that genre works. You know how it works. That's how you get to communicate better. So you know how the drummer should play funk, how the drummer should play this, so you can communicate and say, "Oh, I need just 2 kicks. I need that." All right. Or if you can play, then go and show him. All right. And so the more instruments you know, the better the music director you are. All right. So am I still, can you still hear me, everyone? I can't see my friend's face. All right, good. All right. All right, cool. I know time is far spent. All right, so let's just wrap this up. Finally, having musical experience, having good knowledge of musical theory, having very sound and accurate ear training, and ability to at least play or know how this instrument works. The most important thing now is building creativity. How do you then determine the kind of house you want to build? You have to be creative enough to decide that, okay, at this moment, I want to do this. Instead of doing that, because there are many options in music, especially when it comes to harmony. When you have, Lord, I give you my heart, I give you my soul, I live for you alone. Because of the melodies I'm using, I can decide to reharmonize. Lord, I give you my heart. Instead of playing a 1, I can decide to do a 4. All right, all within the context of the genre I have decided to produce. You must be able to all right, to be creative, do something. All right, everybody does it this way. Decide that, okay, fine, let me just ruffle a little bit of feathers. All right, just ruffle some feathers. Do this way. All right, I'm reminded of when we were told to rearrange. He turned it by Ty Tribbett. That's a big song. What more do you need to do to the song? Nothing serious, like nothing much. The song is already big. All right, but then as a music director, I had to innovate. I had to think, okay, what can I do to paint this song in another light? So I thought, okay, let me try to. Can you all still hear me? So I thought to myself, okay, let me add this harmony here. Let me add this. minor movement here and all of that. So yes, creativity, just be able to just create. And to be able to create, trust me, many times you can only ride on the shoulders of those who have gone behind you. There's nothing really new under the sun. All right, all innovation have been done before. Something like it has been done before. So you would do well to go back in time. My friend would always say this: you find the new in the old, and you find the old in the new. Sometimes you need to go back to the classics and listen and listen and listen and listen to be able to find that thing that will give life to particular performance or production. Can you still hear me? Please, I need feedback so I don't just keep talking without you guys hearing me clearly. Please, if you can hear me, please put in the
Yes, please,
comment
we
section.
can.
Awesome, thank you, because I can't see my brother here. Awesome. So be able to listen so wide to be able to just decide, okay, at this moment, this is what I want to do. Many times when you create, nobody would know where you actually got that particular thing from. If you don't tell them, they wouldn't know. All right. The last song we did with that I released 121, that's Oxygen. At the final seconds, I did something. I literally merged two different ideas together from two songs I've listened to way back, and I was able to create that. So sometimes you don't need to stress yourself. Go into your library and check out for something that you probably have not. You've heard over and over, but now you can now just borrow and use. Just be creative. Be creative in rhythm. Be creative in melody. Be creative in harmony. Be creative in style. Do you get what I'm saying? And so, with these things, all those things put together, it will be said of you that you have great musicianship. All right. So, a music director, a professional or a great music director is one who has great musicianship. And let me recap, that shows that you have very great ears, you have very great experience with music. You can tell the what's, the whys. You can, tell, okay, how can I do this? You can tell, where can I do this? Because it's also important that as much as you know the why is this music, why is this decision made in this style at this moment, you must be able to tell, okay, where can I use that style? Even after you have all the parameters that build that sound in that moment. All right, so have very good musical experience, have very good music theory, have very good ear training, be able to play at least one instrument or two, or at least know how this instrument works. As a person, I play the piano, I play the guitar, I play the bass, I play the drums. All right, but I don't play all of these instruments so professionally. But in my mind, I know what it means to play these instruments professionally. And so I can communicate with a professional and say, this is what I need. And that is because I am very sound in theory. And so music theory and ear training gives me a very good ground to communicate with even virtuoso pianists and great musicians. So you don't feel less of yourself as a director. South Africa is is the height of African music in that sense. They do it best, if you ask me. But going to South Africa as a Nigerian, I was able to communicate with them because I know the theory, right? It was so easy. We had this camaraderie, we had this vibe, like, oh yeah, that's what we should do. Okay, that's what we should do. Yes, because I spoke their language to them. And if you travel to France or anywhere you go to, being able to speak the language of music is weirdly unifying. They just like you. All right. All right. And so that is a bit of what I feel I should share. Of course, I couldn't go into all the details of harmony and intervals. Of course, I couldn't. But as a music director, these three skills, vision, leadership, and you're back. Vision, leadership, and musicianship have to work perfectly together. Are you getting what I'm saying? And so, because I want you guys to ask one or two questions. Let me just wrap it all here and let you know that there is no point in your career where learning stops. The day you stop learning is the day you die. Always, regardless of how much you know, keep adding to yourself. Grow. in all that I've mentioned. Grow in objectivity, grow in persuasion, grow in patience, grow in discipline, grow in service, grow in your interpersonal skills, grow in your musicianship. Ask questions from people. Be humble. I should have added that to this. As a music director, you have to be a humble person. If you don't know something, ask about it. All right, that you may know better. In fact, ask. Sometimes some of your big moves would be suggested to you by that member of your choir that you think doesn't know much. Trust me, if you have watched this movie Sing, this animation movie Sing, especially part 2, you realize that the big idea of creating a space narrative with the movie was given by that pig guy who probably was too much of a talkative to have any great ideas. So you must have good listening skills sometimes. Sometimes just do it. Just do it. Just listen. I know you have a better idea sometimes, but just listen. Sometimes it might just be not necessarily the best idea, but the most appropriate. Do you understand? So put all of these things together. I want you to have fun. Most importantly, being a music director must be fun. If you don't enjoy it, quit. Have fun doing all of these things. In growing, in fact, in practicing and growing, in the skills of that I've mentioned as a music director, have fun. That's the most important thing that's the most important thing we do here. Have fun, have fun, have fun. And let me clear this bit of conspiracy or whatever that I don't have the best words. In church, we talk about the anointing, like the Spirit. It's important. Trust me. But in this conversation, no matter how spiritual a doctor is, if he's not a great surgeon for a particular operation, I will not give him the job. So I know you're powerful in spirit. I know you are anointed. Grow the skills, because even God won't be able to do so much with you if you don't have these skills. I round up Exodus chapter 31, verse 3. It says, and God found Bezalel. Just a minute, let me open it. Exodus 31, verse 3. This is the motivation for you to grow in skill. If you think it's really all about reading Bible and just getting spiritually more accurate with God, God wants you to grow in skill. All right, so read it with me. Exodus 31, verse 3. The Bible says, and I have filled him. No, verse 2, starting with verse 2. See, I have called by my name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, the tribe of Judah. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God, in wisdom, in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship. God filled him with spirit for workmanship. All right. Verse 4, to devise cunning works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, cutting of stones to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. This is God talking about a spiritual experience he had with Bezalel that led this man to be able to grow in the skill of his art. He was a sculptor. He was an art guy. He was a potter. And was able to do all of that because of a spiritual motivation and an endowment from God. So let all your endowments lead you to practice, lead you to become better as a human being. The better you are, the more chances that you will be better used by God. Trust me, you can limit how much God can do if you do not grow as a person. All right. And so let this be a good motivation. God wants me to be better. God wants me to be excellent in all I do, because he also is an excellent God. We talk about, oh Lord, our God, how excellent is your name in all the earth, but we override our excellence with spirituality. No, it's a false dichotomy. They work together and must be two ends of the rod that you are holding onto strong. Be spirit-filled and be excellent in all that you do. Thank you for your time. I will entertain any questions. And yes, thank you very much. Questions if you have one.
Yes, sir. Wow. Like before we take the questions, I want to, guys, if we want to do this, if you, based on what we have learned today, guys, if you are interested to be mentored by PD Wilson on this thing, I want you to begin to anticipate for it. I'm going to speak to him after this, and then we will know how to go about it. Because what he's sharing is so deep, because of time, he's just cutting things very short. But please, if you are, please, if you are interested in the mentorship, listen, please get ready to sign up. Tell your pastor to sign you up. Tell your pastor, your church leaders to sign you up for this thing, because you are going to learn and you begin to be a blessing to the church. So please get ready to be mentored by PD Wilson. I'm sure we will go around vocal harmony, because that's where people are most interested in. And so please just get ready. It's going to be an awesome time. One-on-one mentorship, 1 month mentorship with PD Wilson on vocal harmonies. So guys, get ready. I'm going to talk to him after this, and let's see how we can push it forward. Okay. So please just type your comment, just type your questions on the comment section. Let's see how we can answer that. I'm going to take only 5 questions. So please just put your questions, just type your questions there. Let's read them out. Yes, please. Just type your questions. Let's read it out. Yes, guys. Hey, wow, no question. Please write your question in the comment section, please. Just type it there. Just type it there. Let's read it out. But before that, it's like I had, you mentioned 3 points, but I had 2. What am I listening to? And then why was it done? It's like I didn't get it. You were mentioning about when you listen to a song, you were talking about the questions you must, 3 questions you must ask yourself.
Oh, the first one was what is being done.
Third one.
Yeah, what is being done, why it is being done, how it can be done, how
it can be done.
Yes, how.
Then, you people kept something on one of your songs when you went for the competition. Nothing without you, yeah. You are the air that I breathe. Without you. I love it.
It was pretty.
I love that thing.
It's so easy. Let me explain. Like when the 4th one actually is after knowing how it can be done, then you should ask, because you're a music creator, you're trying to put together like that piece, then you should ask yourself, where can this be done? You get that particular thing you learned in this particular. Yeah, so where else can you do? You get what I'm saying? And it's pretty simple. We're just going from nothing without you. You do the 5 without you. 6, you are 4, the air that I breathe. 1, can't live without you. 5, because I'm going to the 6. It's basically a passing 5 flat 6. So I just basically run a melody. Move from the 5 to the 6, and all we did was just harmonize. There's something in harmony we call polyphonic parallelism. All right, that's not for today. Something another day. All right. Wow. All right, so we just basically polyphonically parallel the melodies like that over the chord, and you have that particular thing. So that's how. What I'm talking about now is how it can be done. So what was done, you're able to score that out. All right, you're able to clearly write out that note. All right, whether by music theory or by ear, you have that. That's what was done. How can it be done? The people that can do that have to have some, ability to riff at least. All right, not everybody can do that. I have people who like are literally alpha, omega, ha, they can't break their voices into ha, ha. All right, so that requires some singing practice, some vocal training. Do you get what I'm saying? That's how we can get that done. Where can it be done? Anywhere you're trying to transit between a 5 to 6, for 5 major to a 6, whether major or minor, you can put that down, put that there as a passing note. It works. And that's not the only part. You could do it in many places. This one would require practical. That I want to. This is a practical session. All right, to show you different possibilities. All right, you could do it. In fact, many times when you do, then sings my soul. You play the 1. Sometimes before you go to the ma say 4. Sometimes you play an augmented chord so that an augmented chord is the 1, the 3, and the flat 6. And so when you do so, so you have that flat 6 there, because the next chord is ma say 4, and 4 already has the 6th in there as the 3rd degree. So you have the 4, the 6 as a 3rd degree. So the flat 5, the flat 6 or the 6 has that leading note value. This is so practical. I don't know if you can get what I'm saying. So there's a leading note from flat, from flat 6 to 6. So then sing my soul. So that's the flat 6. So when you play the flat 6 with a major, you get an augmented. All right. So a piano isn't set up now. I will have showed you, but basically, I just showed you what was done and where it can be done. That's basically it.
Okay, so like Chris has a question. And they said,
Okay.
thank you, PD. My question is on the 4 things one should ask when listening to music.
4 things.
First.
Number 1, yes, those are the things that what is being
Not the
done. Why is it? Those are being done. How can it be done and where can it be done? These are things that build your musical experience as a creator and a director of music. Where can I apply that thing? Where? For example, let me give a good example. Fred Hammond. He is not just a man, he is God. He is not just a baby, he is king. You see that? He is king. You see that chord? That's a major 6. You play the 6, you play the major, which is the flat 2nd, and you play the 3. Kings, where can that be? Can that be applied? You see that applied to great is your mercy towards me, your loving kindness towards me, your tender mercies I see day after day. See that chord is what is influencing the riff I'm running. That's what will influence your harmony. That's what will influence maybe any syncopation you want to add. You could do da 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 da. You could just play around it. That's why I said, as a music director, it's not enough for you to know chords. To be sounding melody. What melodies can I use to open up a chord, to amplify it, whether for a singer, for a musician, whether for syncopation, for a tutti melody, for saxophonist. All of these things work together. Progressions, chords is what defines everything we do. So that's why you also have to learn skills. What skills sometimes can work? So when I do day after day, that's a riff, that's a scale, right? What did I just run? I just basically ran a major 6th. It's a diatonic on the major 6th. All right. So if you learn that scale, you'll be more sound on the melody that you're able to bring to bear when you want to arrange a song around that chord. Do you get what I'm saying? This is practical.
Yes, sir.
40 minutes, 1 hour can do this. Grow in that. What I just said, listen to music and begin to ask questions. Allow, if you don't know too much of piano, sit down with pianists and ask them, why did you play what you played? What is the harmonic combination? What are the notes combination in this at this moment? And how can I split that? Because it's not just enough to have a very good grasp of the harmonic structure of a chord, all the notes in there. There's something called voice leading. There's something called breaking the notes down to so it's singable. There's a way you can't just give anybody anything to sing. You to know how that falls into the context of vocal harmony. So grow in that. Thank you. I think there's another question here. Okay, I think I've answered the question of 4 things one should ask.
Wow, 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 wow. This has been so awesome. This has been so awesome. All right, so if there are any further questions, I'll release the big man to go. All right. Hello.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So I'm trying
Just
to look at the chat.
all right. Please, like, there's no question, right?
Chat here is cleared.
Let's release the big man to go.
Well, the chat here
Should
is
we
cleared.
release
So
the
please,
big
can you
man to
help me with
go
the questions?
without any further
Let me
questions?
take one more question. I think there's one question about what
Would
the
you want to
apps.
speak? Please type on the comment section, okay? Can we
I've been
call it
listening
done now? Or you still have any question?
What did you say?
Sorry, I missed that question. There's a question on in the comment section, sir.
Okay, so somebody says, I have been listening to One to One Seller today, and I realized that for each performance on Amazing Voices, you sounded familiar, similar to the original. What do you do to get a solid sound as close to the original version? Well, it's a very simple question. Basically, you must understand that when you do a song, when you hear a song, right, especially a classic, something that has been sung by millions of people, and you want to do a cover of that song, understand that people have already lived with this song to the point where they have a feeling, they know what the song gives to them. All the decisions that went into creating that sound have been digested. Everybody now owns the song. So if you're going to do a cover, as much as you would like to do something very interesting with it, you don't want to take it away from the basic idea of the song. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. For example, imagine taking he turned my morning into dancing, and you go, he turned my morning into dancing. Yeah, it's interesting maybe if you trap it and make it so slow, but it wouldn't give people something exciting. And that's because they're already very used to the original version. So you're not going to do anything really, really different. You can change 1 or 2 things, maybe do some reharmonizations here or there, but keep the basic structures of the song, melody. Make sure melody is key. Many times you think so that a song can be more interesting, you want to alter all the melodies and make it sound stupid. No, don't. You would lose the song. Try to keep the melodies intact, then you can just play around it. And even if you go digress for a bit, try to come back so people can still know that that's the song that we're listening to. All right, thank you. Any other question? before we call it a day. It's been an amazing time. Thank you guys once again for the honor, the privilege. It's exciting to share with people beyond the shores of my country, and hopefully, I pray that I'll be with you in person to to share more and have more practical sessions with you guys. Or whenever you want me to, I'll be open to traveling down. Although I don't have Ghana in my schedule. I don't yet have a day for Ghana. But if you want me to, or you're in the UK, I think I'll be in the UK in June. If you can catch me, uh, I'd love to meet you. Hi, let me know if you'd like me to when you like me to come around for the mentorship session. If you have enough people
Okay.
who are willing to.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Guys, let's make the mentorship thing happen. Or let's make it happen. Let's make it. Get ready. Get ready to sign up for it. I mean, the PD is willing to come and mentor you on this thing. So please, let's also get ready. Okay, let's also get ready. So please go and follow PD Wilson on Instagram. Just type PD Wilson, you see it. So give us our social media handles and let's go. So guys, hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please give us your social media handles. Let's go
Social
and
media
follow.
handles. Oh, that's simple.
Yes,
It's
please.
PD Wilson on all platforms. Then, of course, the lovely one-to-one seller. Those all platforms, all platforms. What's I said what's up? Sorry,
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter,
All right. So guys,
and Facebook.
what should we say to PD Wilson? Just type in the comment section. What should we say to him? What should we say to him? Yeah, we've had an we've I mean like we've we, I mean like we've I mean like we've had an awesome time.
Me too.
Guys,
Thank you very much.
let's begin to appreciate him. Let's appreciate him. Let's appreciate him. Let's appreciate him. Because this just I mean like this just so much wisdom we've had tonight. So thank you, sir. So we are very grateful for the time you've had to come around. And God bless you so much
Thank you
for
very much.
this wonderful time. And thank you so much for the things you have shared with us.
Thank you.
And for me, I personally believe that someone ministry has changed today, and someone has been influenced, and someone has been.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys, my network keep on throwing me off. So, guys, thank you so much for also joining. God bless you all. We really appreciate you from joining. Those joining from UK, and those joining from Nigeria, those joining from Ghana, we really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining. Please, let's sign up for the mentorship when it's out. Please, let's sign up. 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 So thank you, PD Wilson, and God bless you, and we really appreciate your time. Yes. Really appreciate your time so much. Guys, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Chris.